Good morning and welcome to my first Stamp and Chat. It's Kerry from the Simply Pretty studio from a very wet and windy Gloucestershire this morning. So I'm just going to check I'm in the right place, do a quick refresh on my Mac. Hoping some of you are going to be joining me live this morning for the first of my Stamp and Chat live crafting sessions. Okay, I can see I'm in the right place. Do comment if you're about, just so that I know. Nobody's here yet, so we'll wait a few minutes before we get started. I'm wondering actually if I can share this. I might do that later. So I thought it would be a really good idea to offer a solution of us not being able to stamp face to face. So the Stamp and Chat is an opportunity for you to craft along with me. So I've posted out kits to some of my customers and they've received them in the post, and some of them are going to be joining me live this morning, but I know some are actually at work. So we'll be able to catch up later. So I'm not in my studio this morning. I've been kicked out because Sophie has 2 online exams today. She's got 2 law exams, which are really important, and she needed to be somewhere where she had good internet and in a place where nobody else was in the room as well, because she has regular live scans, so she has to scan the room to make sure nobody's in there with her. So we were going to have her in the house, but we decided that because it's so open plan here, it might be better for her to be over in my studio. So I've had to bring everything over here. The lighting isn't as good over here. It's very dark in this barn, but I've got my ring light on. Hopefully we're not going to get too much of a glare. So anybody joining me? Let's have another refresh. Is there anybody there? Okay. I think we'll make a start. So I posted out the Tag Buffet stamp set, which is this one here, a really lovely Christmas set with some greetings and some really good images in there. There were card kits and envelopes, so I've already pre-cut kits as far as we can do without stamping. Also, I included the shaded spruce ink pad because I thought we could do quite a lot with just this one ink pad. And then everybody also had a 5th of the Tag Buffet project kit, and I will just quickly run through that in case you've seen it. Now, some of you did opt out of the shaded spruce and chose another colour. That's always an option for you to do, because obviously we've all got lots of ink pads already, and what I'm offering may not be what you need. So a couple of people switched out on colours. So let's have a quick look. Let's move this out of the way before we start with our first card. Let's have a quick look what comes in the Tag Buffet project kit. So it comes in this gorgeous box, which is really sturdy. You could upcycle this, make some cards and give it as a gift, or even make a gift and pop it inside. It's a really lovely box, and when I open it up you'll see it's all lined on the inside as well. So you get your instruction sheet in here, and this kit actually makes 30 tags, which is really good. Somebody's popping up. It makes 30 tags. Now remember, tags are great for packaging, add into packaging, but you can also add all of these tags to cards as well. So you could add a bit of cardstock and make 30 cards with this. So we've got various bits of instructions in there, and then we've got some step-by-step pictures of what the finished tags could look like if you choose to follow these instructions. It is a beautiful kit. So you've got lots of tags in here. These are like foil embossed. Got different designs, if you can see that. And then we've got these, which are my favourites. So these are laser cut as well. Okay. They're all plain white on the reverse. So we have lots of those. And then we've got these beautiful patterned foiled tags. They're a really good size as well. So we've got different colours in here. We've got shaded spruce, just jade, real red. They're just so pretty. And then this final one, I really like this one as well. So lots of tags. Goodness, can you hear that wind? By the time autumn comes, I'm sure there aren't going to be any leaves left on our trees. Then you also get these die cut pieces. So these you just pop them out, push them out. So lots of trees there. And then these as well. Nice baubles and stockings. So you've got sheets of those. And then you've got these lovely labels as well, and banners, which are really fab. So several sheets of those. You get a reel of this gold twine, which is really lovely. It ties nicely. And then in the bottom, it does all come wrapped inside to secure it. You've got more sheets of these pop out images as well. So there we go. So we'll pop those back in. And everybody received a 5th of this kit. So, and they will have lots of bits and pieces left over as well at the end, despite what we're going to be using to make our cards. So that's the kit. I've also included some extra pieces, so they've got extra sheets of cardstock in there. They also had a 5th of the wonderful gems, 5th of a pack, so a row of each colour, which we're using. And then I popped in a wedge of one of our stamping sponges. This is what they look like when you buy them. They come in a pack of 3. They are £3.75, I believe, so really good value. And then I just wedge them and punch out a circle in the corresponding colour and just staple it on there. And then that's my little holder for doing my daubing. It was a cheaper version than including a dauber, because I wanted to keep the costs down, which is why we've only got one ink pad. So we're sort of compromising in a way. And then a little close-up of the stamp set that everybody has received. And these are photopolymer. And there's 14 stamps in here. Okay, so without further ado, I don't think I need to talk anything else about the actual kits everyone's received. This is the first card we're going to do today. So I'm going to make this one with you. So those of you that are stamping along with me, you will need to pull out your card number 1. Your little brown bag. You had nice brown bags packaged. I'm just trying to read my notifications. They're not popping up on my MacBook. Oh, they are now. They're actually coming through. Because I'm so blind now with my glasses, I need my glasses to stamp close up and to read my phone. But because my phone is in the stand, I've got a job to read it with these glasses on. Anyway, this is the first card we're going to be doing. We're going to be using one of the pop-out images, this stocking, which I think is my favourite out of all of them. We're using Whisper White base, and then the first layer is the Just Jade. And we're going to be cutting up one of the tags to create this patterned panel here. I really wanted to include some DSP, but as I said, the budget wouldn't allow. Got a bit of fussy cutting to do, so I know some of you are not going to be loving me for that, but that's just the way it is, I'm afraid. And you can take your time. You don't have to stay at the pace that I am crafting. As I've said, you can watch back later. I will be adding this to my YouTube channel as well. And I've really wanted to do videos for a long time. But with the Wi-Fi signal that we've had here, it's just been impossible to try to upload a video. But we've recently had GigaClear put in, and it now means that I can actually upload videos to YouTube, which is really good. So, and it's really nice to feel like I'm connecting with you all via here. So let's make a start on my card. So if you guys pull out your little brown bags, I've popped mine in an envelope. See that one up there? And I'm going to need a Whisper White card base. So we're going to start, I've pre-scored your bases for you. So we're going to start just by folding in half and giving it a little crease. Alfie has seen something in the garden. Behave, Alfie. I'm just hoping that we don't see a squirrel. I'm going to say it quietly because he knows what that is, because he might just go slightly crazy. Next layer, you're going to need this Just Jade piece, and we're going to open up our shaded spruce ink. Now bear in mind, yours is as new as mine because I opted for a new one as well. So it's going to be very juicy. So I would say less is more. I like to take a scrap of paper just so that I don't ruin every sheet of grid paper that I'm working on straight away, because it is nice to keep them clean as much as you can. So I'm just going to dab my sponge in, and then I usually take a bit off, and then we're just going to go over the edge like you would with one of our little daubers. As you can see, it's quite intense, and you can pop as much on or as little as you like. And we're just going to go around all four edges, and it just gives a little bit of depth to our layer and kind of makes it pop out a little bit. And don't fret if it goes wrong and you catch it and you get a nasty line, you've got the emergency side, so just turn it over and go again. So that's our layer. Let's move that to one side for the moment because we won't be needing that. And I'm going to pop that to one side. I'm going to do all my stamping, which is how I generally work. Oh, hi Dawn, nice to see you joining. The way I normally work is I prepare all my pieces and then I tend to stick everything together at the end, and we're all different, we all do things differently. So next you've got in your kit this piece of real red, and this is this layer that's going across here. You'll also need to pull out this tag from your kit. You can see it's got a little hole there for tying if needs be. So you need to cut this tag right the way down the middle so that you end up with a piece like this. Okay, so I've literally sliced it right down the middle in my trimmer, so you end up with this piece. And then what you'll find is that where this corner bevels out, your piece of cardstock should be roughly that length. You may need to trim it a slight bit because I think it was just under like 1/8 of an inch and I didn't want it to be too short. So chop your tag in half, and then we're just going to add a bit of Tombow. Let's make sure my Tombow is working. Just around here, just up to that point, like that. And then we're going to add it on to this layer. I think the one in my original card is slightly narrower, my real red layer, but that's fine. You can see that just fits nicely. And then I'm simply going to take my big scissors and chop off the end like that. So we have this nice pattern piece that could have just as well been designer paper. Okay, next we're going to pop out our stocking. Now I don't know about you, but when I pop these things out, I do like to just check that there are, where they've been held in, sometimes they have a little edge on, and I just like to snip those off. Just in case you didn't know, I am a slight perfectionist and I like things just so. Okay, next we'll do a bit of stamping. So from the stamp set, you need to take out this leafy image. Okay, so I've got mine here. And we need some Just Jade cards. So you've got scrap cardstock in there. I'm pretty sure I put you in a whole sheet. So that you can do all your fussy cutting. And then we're just going to ink this one up, and we want 2 of these. I love the contrast of the shaded spruce when it's inked onto the Just Jade. Where are my little scissors? Okay, we just chop these off. I'm going to move you out of the way because I'm good at dunking things into wet stamps. You're going to have to painfully watch me trim around here. It's not a tricky one to cut around. Some people may look and think, oh, it's a bit fussy, but it's not too bad. Mind you, you all know that I love a bit of fussy cutting. I would say the key is to open your scissors and turn your paper and work on the inner part, not on the end of your blade. Work on the inner part of your scissors. That's hard to describe, but I know what I mean. Okay, and then just chop the edge off. So that's one done. And the next. So I'm hoping this storm isn't going to cause too much grief around us and around your area as well. It is good crafting weather though, don't you think? It's a real good excuse when the weather's a bit dull and you can't work outside in the garden. It is nice just to settle down and be creative. And I'd be lying if I wasn't saying I wasn't grateful to have the rain. The garden needs it, and it does mean that I don't have to go and water the vegetable garden. Of course, I've still got to head out to the greenhouse and water in there, but it's slowing down a bit in there at the moment. I've had a real flux of tomatoes, so I've been popping those in my Thermomix and blitzing them and freezing them ready to make pasta sauces and things. But it's all starting to slow down a bit, although I've just had my peppers. I picked 2 yesterday and I made a pasta sauce and I popped some in, and they're really good. So that's the first time. My peppers weren't very successful last year. So yep, so I love that when we've got a bit of rain I haven't got to do the outside watering. Okay, these 2 pieces, I'm just going to take my bone folder and just curl the edges up a little bit, just to give them a bit of height, a bit of depth. I'm going to pop those to one side. Now you're definitely not going to love me because I have actually stamped this little, the berries. If you don't want to stamp around the berries, I will show you the stamp. It's this one here. I'm not sure if you can see. So it is very tiny, it's very fussy. You don't have to stamp this one. I'm going to, just because I think we've got time to. But you could just simply ink up your holly leaves, cut those out and then stick the berries at the bottom. So, scrap of Whisper White in your shaded spruce. I'm just going to stamp the holly leaves and stamp the berries next to it. So we are only just using the 1 ink colour on here. It's a good job our ink dries pretty fast as well. So I'm going to cut these out together. A bit of concentration needed when we're cutting. Can't look at my comments. supplements either while I'm cutting. Need to learn how to take off my pop-ups on my Mac as well. So there's my holly leaves. Got a frog in my throat now, not good. Not good timing. And then my berries. When I'm cutting, I don't know about you, but I always leave a little gap between the stamped image and where I'm cutting. I think it's easier to cut, and I quite like the effect that it gives. Okay, that wasn't too painful, was it, guys? A little bit of fussy cutting. And now what I've done with my holly leaves, I'm going to take my scrap bit of paper and my sponge, and I'm just going to ink them. Ooh, that was quite heavy. This is why I say you need to take a bit off. So I've just inked them up to give them a bit of colour. And then the next image we need to stamp is going to be this one here. So these two are very similar. This one is slightly larger and it veers to the right. So we're going to have this smaller one here. And I'm just going to stamp these 3 leaves coming down at the bottom just to give the card a bit of balance. So I like to kind of guesstimate by holding my layer roughly where I think it's going to go, about there, and then I hover it over and then just take away my piece. So I have one here, one over here, and one coming that way, like so. Next, the final bit of stamping. Now, although in your kit you have these lovely die cut banners and kind of labels, I always find that I tend to go wrong, or I don't quite stamp it as straight as I would like to. So I quite often put off using these first time round. Or what is a really good thing to do is to take some Whisper White, push one out and either draw around the blank that you've got so that you have got a spare, a backup, should you have that little happy accident. Or you could just take the piece out and draw around it and just cut one out of Whisper White. So for this purpose, I popped in your kit a couple of labels that I punched out from the Timeless label. Just because I thought it worked quite well with the size of the card, and you've got a couple of spares in there, and then you've also got your backup sheet of die cuts there if you need them. So for this we're using the Tis the Season image. I love this one. I love the style of the font, and we're just going to stamp that, which is tricky when I can't see right over the top, as straight as we can. Oop, upside down. That's not too bad. Pop that to one side, and I think then we are ready to get this all together, and we'll do the insert at the very end. So take my base layer, pop some Tombow. I'm just going to close up my ink just in case something gets dipped in it. How are we doing for time? Not too long, I hope. Who else is... Oh, that's upside down. That wouldn't be a good plan. And we're just going to lay this one down as central as possible. Now, of course, I do love 3D, so you will quite often find on my cards that there are lots of layers. Feel free to not use as many dimensionals as I have, or keep it a bit flatter. If you're thinking about posting it, then don't pop on dimensionals everywhere that I'm putting them on. and then that will just help you to know that when you're posting, it's not going to have to go as a large letter, which is okay, I think, for one-offs and specials. But when you're sending bulk cards like we do at Christmas, I think it's important to think about the costs that are going to be incurred. So a bit of Tombow on the back of this real red layer, and we're going to pop this one down just here. Tombow on the fingers again. I do love Tombow though. How many of you have got the new Stampin' Seal? I've got mine here. Have any of you tried this yet? I do love it. I do love it, and I do use it a lot. You can see I'm nearly at the end of my first one, so I have to pop a refill in. But equally, I do adore Tombow, and I always have. So let's pop on some dimensionals to the back of the stocking. I like the mini dimensionals. I just find they go a lot further. Pop one on there as well. Take all the backings off. Oops, that one actually came off. Hope Soph's getting on with her exam. She's been quite stressed about these. It's a lot to do with studying and working. There we go, so that layer is down. Next I'm going to pop down my greeting. So I'm not going to put dimensionals under this side because it's as you can see, I've layered with dimensionals over this side, and it's just going to lay flat on the left side. So we'll pop a dimensional on the right hand side, and then just a bit of glue where it's going to touch the stocking, and we'll have that just below. Oh, would help if I pulled the back off, wouldn't it? Just about there, I think, like so. Next we're going to add in the two Fernie images, and I'm just going to pop dimensionals at the bottom on the back of each one. And just layer those up in the top corner. Doesn't really matter where, just up there. And then for my holly, again I'm just going to use my bone folder, turn the edges over and pop a teeny bit of Tombow on the back and just lay it under that corner like that. It's quite spotty actually, that leaf, isn't it? It'll be fine though. And then my little berries that I cut out, I'm just going to pop a tiny bit of glue on there, lay those down. Oop, lay those down. That was that Tombow I had stuck to me. Get rid of that. And then you need to take your gems. As I said, my lady's got a strip of each colour, and we're going to pop 3 of the smaller ones because we're going to be using the others in the following sessions that we do together in the next few weeks. So don't go and use all of these on your other projects because you will be needing them. Who else is here? Oh, hi Belle. Hi Lou. Belle, you've not ordered the seal yet. You need to give it a try. It is really good. I think it's a bit like the fast fuse. You need to just try it and get used to it. It's got a bit of a technique, I think, whereas with the fast fuse we used to run and then flick it off to actually break the seal. With this one you just need to roll it, and I find by just tipping it up that breaks the seal. So it is really good. I do really like it. It's really strong, a lot stronger than the snail was. And of course we do the Stampin' Seal Plus, which Stampin' Up recommend for boxes and 3D things because it is stronger. Okay, so we've got our berries on, our holly berries. What's next? I think all we have to do now is pop the bow on. So everybody received a couple of meters of this twine. Can you see? It is really pretty. It's very fine, but it's really pretty. Now I've got Tombow on that finger. That might hamper my bow. I know some of you struggle with the bows. You sit there at my face-to-face events with your hands in the air, waving your piece of ribbon at me. Please, miss, can you tie my bow? Just going to chop that fuzzy end off. And then to adhere this on the bottom of my little label, I'm going to take a glue dot, because I think glue dots are really handy for sticking embellishments, buttons, ribbons, because they are instantly dry. So if you try sticking down a piece of ribbon with Tombow, it will stick eventually, but it just takes a little while to dry. Hi Deb, nice to see you on here. I'm sure you're not staying, but nice to see you. So I'm just going to pick up my dimensional and I'm rolling it with my scissors, because I don't want to see the whole of the dimension, it's not a dimensional, sorry, the whole of the glue dot. So if you can see that, I've just rolled it so that it's not a flat circle, and it will mostly be hidden by the centre of my bow. And there we go. The card is almost complete. We just need to stamp something on the insert. I think, where is mine? So I think I will use, I've got one out actually. I thought I'd pop inside the With Love for You, because I really like that one. Let's take our ink. It's a new one, this one's quite stiff. I do love our new style ink pads though. So just ink that up. What have you seen, Alfie? There's a little grumble, did you hear that? Just ink that one up, stamp it down. Pretty straight, not too bad. And what should we have with it? Let's have a couple of these, because I just adore this stamp, this image, and I think I will be using this for non-Christmas projects. So I'm going to leave it at that, because for me, simple is the best. I don't know what you've seen out there, Alfie, but please do be quiet. Bless him. And to finish, a bit of Tombow just around the edge. Bless him, he's gone down to the other end now of the house to look out of the other window. He's seen something out there. We quite often get the pigeons on the fountain. And we get all sorts of creatures in the garden. The ducks come over, the moorhens. We get pheasants out there. Fox. So yeah, quite a lot can go on out there. So there's the inside of my card. You've all had an envelope. Feel free to stamp on your envelope if you wish. And I think that wraps up the first Stamp and Chat session. So with that said, I will be back in a week's time. So I will be going live now every Tuesday at 10 o'clock, probably in this group and not in my VIP private group. And I'll be sharing with you what we're going to be making, and then we'll be changing. In a couple of weeks' time, I'll be emailing out to everybody for the next round, so you can see what's included if you'd like to take part. So I think that's all I need to say today. I hope you've enjoyed spending a bit of time with me and watching me put this card together. If there's anything that you would like for yourself, if you would like to order yourself the project kit, please do get in touch. My website is kerrytims.co.uk, Please use my host code if your order is over £35, and I will send you a little gift in the post. But if you're local, you can message me if it's just something small that you want to order and you don't want to pay the £4.95 shipping fee, then I can either deliver it locally, or if it's cheaper for me to post it you, then you do the £4.95 shipping fee, then I'm happy to do that for you. So if you've any questions, please do get in touch. I will upload this to YouTube as well, so find me on my channel, and I'll probably put a link down below once I've uploaded this. And it's not looking too bad out there at the minute. It's windy, but I can actually see a bit of blue sky. So stay safe, everybody. Thank you for joining me. It's been lovely to spend some time with you, and I will catch up with you very soon. Take care. Bye for now.